I'm going to share 6 eye-opening reasons why you might feel like you're always playing catch-up with your finances. And more importantly, how you can turn that feeling to your advantage. Do you really know what the true markers of wealth are? Let's get into it. 1. You're making upward comparisons. We all do it, comparing ourselves to people who seem to have more. Whether it's a fancier car, bigger house, or a jet-setting lifestyle, it's easy to feel like you're lagging behind. But here's the thing. What we see when we compare up is often an illusion. A lot of those wealthy lifestyles are carefully curated. Take cars, for example. Let's say you and a friend both decide to spend $500 a month on a car. You opt for a mid-range vehicle on a 5-year finance plan, and after those 5 years, you own the car. It's worth around $20,000. Meanwhile, your friend leases a car for the same $500. Their ride looks much nicer, but after 36 months, they've spent $18,000 and have to return the car. At the end, you own something. They don't. It's all about how you look at it. Credit card debt works in a similar way. In the UK, 38% of people carry credit card debt, and in the US, that number is about 44%. Many only make minimum payments each month, and that debt just keeps rolling over. It's easy to look at someone's new stuff and think they're doing better, but often they're living beyond their means. Instead of comparing yourself to the person with the shiny new car, compare yourself to those investing in their future. People putting their money into things like education, skills, or building businesses. That's where true wealth lies. 2. You don't know what you stand for. We compare ourselves more when we don't really know what we value. And this doesn't just apply to finances, it's true in every area of life. When you're focused on what everyone else is doing, it's easy to feel behind. I'll give you a personal example. A few years ago, all my friends were climbing the corporate ladder, getting promoted, and buying homes. Meanwhile, I was stepping back, leaving a stable job to study and start a completely new career. I was scared, sure, but I wasn't comparing myself to them because I knew that the direction I was heading in would make me much happier. And looking back, I was 100% right. Now, I get to do what I love every day. When it comes to your finances, knowing what truly matters to you is key. If you don't align your spending with what brings you happiness, you'll always feel behind. Maybe you love the latest tech or designer clothes. If that's what makes you happy, great. But for me, I find value in experiences like travel or investing in my education and business. My spending reflects that, and I'm content because it's aligned with my values. 3. You aren't learning. This one's a game changer. Instead of letting the thought, "Why do they make more money than me?" bring you down, flip it to, "How are they doing it?" This shift transforms envy into curiosity and growth. I used to be skeptical about people making money online. I couldn't see how it was possible until I started learning and talking to those doing it. They weren't just creating content. They were building brands, connecting with their audience, and diversifying their income streams. They thought outside the box, and once I started learning from them, it opened up a whole new world for me. The same goes for investing. I know when I talk about an 8% return, many people ask themselves, how do you get that? No bank is paying 8% interest. And they're right. A bank isn't. But I'm not talking about savings accounts. The S&P 500, for example, has returned over 10% on average over the past century. In any 20-year period, the lowest average return has been 4%. And in most cases, it's been at least 8%. Learning this changed my entire perspective on investing. So next time you feel behind, take a step back and ask yourself what you can learn from the people ahead of you. The answers might surprise you. 4. You're forgetting the trade-offs. We all have moments where we look at someone and think, wow, they've got it all. But what we don't see are the sacrifices they've made to get there. Maybe they're missing out on time with their family or working long hours behind the scenes. When you see someone jetting off to an exotic vacation, you might wonder, how can they afford that? What you don't see are the sacrifices they make in other areas. Maybe they live in a modest home or skip out on other luxuries because travel brings them joy. It's so important to recognize that everyone makes trade-offs. The key is to make the ones that are right for you. Once you realize that, it's easier to stop comparing yourself to others. 5. You're following the wrong strategy. When it seems like everyone else is more successful, it's easy to fall into the competition trap. But here's the thing. Collaboration can get you much further than competition ever will. I once poured my heart into a side project, convinced it was one of a kind. But just as I was about to launch, I discovered a well-known brand had released something similar. I felt deflated and ready to give up. Instead, I reached out to them and to my surprise, they were open to collaborating. Together, we created something better than either of us could have done alone. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes, a little teamwork can turn competition into opportunity. If you can set your ego aside and approach someone with genuine interest, they'll usually respond in the same way. It's amazing what you can build when you're not trying to outdo everyone else. 6. You haven't focused on you for a while. When was the last time you looked at your spending and asked, does this actually make me happy? It's easy to get caught up in the grind of saving, budgeting, and controlling expenses. But part of building financial security is also about enjoying your money along the way. This doesn't mean blowing your budget, but it does mean making room for what brings you joy. When you're spending money on things that make you happy, you'll appreciate your financial journey a lot more. And guess what? You'll be too focused on your own happiness to worry about what others are doing. So, this weekend, treat yourself to something small. Maybe it's a nice meal, indulging in a hobby, or just taking time to thoughtfully track your spending. Whatever it is, make sure it brings you joy. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share your own financial journey in the comments. I'd love to hear what your next goal is. And if you're feeling a bit uncertain about your finances, check out my next video on the signs that you're actually doing well financially, even if it doesn't feel like it. Trust me, you might be in better shape than you think.